How's it, everybody, and a warm welcome to the Web3 show. I'm Philip Linko, and tonight we're going to be covering a whole lot of the latest weekly Web3 news. We've got Yuga and 10K TP partnering together. We've got Nike launching Swoosh on Polygon. We got Sony. We got Adidas dropping their virtual gear. How did that go? We got Ronaldo dropping a collection, OpenSea royalties, and much, much more. So thank you so much for joining. A reminder that nothing I say is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. And if you haven't already noticed, the Web3 space is very risky. So you should always be careful and do your own research. With that said, let's get straight into it. We'll look at the market update and see what's going on in the markets. All right, so last 24 hours, we've got ETH flat at 1,200. We've got Bitcoin sitting at 16,500. A big mover at the moment is ApeCoin. They've gone up about 8% today. They launched details about their staking, which is going to go live in approximately 2 weeks' time. The more Yuga Lag assets you have, the more return you're going to get, upwards of 70%, they say, based on the current value of the token. So that's assuming that the token price doesn't go down over time. We're seeing people buying up Ape. So they up about 8%, sitting at about $3.10. I actually sold a bit of ETH yesterday to buy some Ape, just with the intention of selling it before staking, because I do think there's still quite a lot of space to run, but I'm just telling you what I'm doing, obviously not financial advice. Then if we have a look here at the NASDAQ, S&P 500, pretty flat day. Tech is down, NASDAQ's down a bit. Finance is up and doing really, really well. But overall, pretty much a flat day. We have had some good data coming out of the US, showing that the chances of a 75-point basis point rise is very, very low now. Probably going to be a 50 basis point rise in the next meeting. And the markets have cheered that, and then now seem to be pretty flat the last couple of days. If we have a look on June analytics over here, we see OpenSea daily volume. You can see here, yesterday they did 9.5 million. Today so far they're in 4.8 million, hasn't closed yet. But if we jump onto DApp Radar and we look at all the marketplaces together, we can see OpenSea still holding the top spot by far, 7.5 million traded. We've got Magic Eden with 1.6 million, X2Y2 with 1 million, Immutable X with 700,000, Blockdobay with 700,000, CryptoPunks alone with 450,000, Looks Rare with 392,000. If we add all of those together, we get around 11 million. So definitely seeing very, very low volume at the moment. If we have a look at what's trending in the last 24 hours, we see all the Bored Ape Yacht Club or Yuga assets trending. We've got Bored Ape Yacht Club at number 1, Mutants at number 2, Other Deed at number 3, Azuki at number 4, Clone X at number 5, Nouns at number 6, Visible Friends, Moonbirds, Pudgy Penguins, Doodles, Chromie Squiggles, and Meepits. Very interesting to see. Again, I do think that this is related to the staking. A lot of people, including me, thought that the staking would be delayed because of this SEC investigation, and it was delayed by a month. However, they're going ahead with it now. So I really didn't believe they would. I thought they would wait for the outcome of the SEC investigation first, but no, they announced they're going ahead, as I said, in approximately 2 weeks. So if you own a Bored Ape, you can stake more and get a higher return. If you own a mutant, you can stake and get a good return, and a dog acts as almost like a multiplier. So a dog on its own doesn't do anything, but if you hold a Bored Ape or a mutant and then you have a dog with it, then you get extra that you can stake and a better return on that investment. If we jump on OpenSea, just because it does show a couple of additional collections that aren't shown on flips.finance, we have this one here, Homer Gang, by Valentine, which I've been seeing a bit about. It launched 2 days ago. Apparently, these guys have got $100 million in venture capital, in funding for this. So they're a game publisher, an existing game publisher. Again, if people can do it, then the guys who have been doing Web 2 games are the guys who can probably pull off a great Web 3 game. So if you've made successful Web 2 games, your chances of making a good Web 3 game are much better. So these guys do, and they're fully doxed. They've got good funding. I must be honest, just to play open cards, I picked up 3 of these off the floor today because I do think when the market realizes what they're dealing with here, that these could run. Again, really not financial advice. I haven't seen the bank statement showing $100 million, but it is from good sources. But again, I mean, you never know in this space, really. We've seen what's happened with everything at the moment, FTX, Gemini, whatever's going on. Trust no one and don't listen to anything I say. But just telling you what I did, I picked up 3 of these because they could really, really do quite a big run if everything checks out and is released, or the information is released. So yeah, I've been watching them. Let's have a look at their Twitter once we're looking here, and we'll also just look at their activity. I wanted to do this earlier and I got distracted. I wanted to look at their Twitter. So you can see here, yesterday they did 433 Ethereum, which is massive in this market, 3,800 sales. And then today, sitting at 748 sales as we stand now. We're about halfway through the day over here. Going to be interesting. Going to be interesting to see what happens when they reveal, and also interesting to see what the team is gonna bring to the table there. If we have a look here, yeah, I mean this looks pretty legit to me, guys. I mean, look at this Twitter. So you got a blue check mark. I think that Elon Musk stopped you can buy your blue check mark. Actually, don't know if he removed people who had bought it and refunded them. I assume he did, because there were people just pretending to be everyone. I know Crypto Dream did see this, but I suggested to Elon Musk that he just make the tick different color for different things. So you could have notable people have their blue tick, then you could have like people who pay for their tick have an orange tick. You could have content creators have a different color tick or whatever. Don't know why he had to remove it altogether. But it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. Wait. He is a rocket scientist. All right. Maybe there's a reason for it. He's obviously a lot cleverer than me, but I would have just changed the color of the tick. Anyway, these guys have got 161,000 followers, which is massive. Been around since 2018. Here they've got their OpenSea. They've got their Discord. Let's check the engagement. This was on the 17th of November. Not huge engagement, to be honest. 83 comments, 111 retweets, 400 likes, not massive. So they must have had this following before. So it's hard to know of this 100 and whatever thousand, 61,000, probably a very small percentage are actually interested in NFTs, right? But yeah, you can see Mint is live also, not a huge amount of engagement. You would expect more. That could potentially be an opportunity that people aren't aware what's going on here. If you have a look over here on their website, it looks like and I'm looking at it for the first time with you guys. Looks like a pretty clean website. I mean, nothing blowing me away, but neither anything negative. Play your own games. Here you've got the team. Over 160,000 people are working at Homer. 160 people. Our partners. Not bad. Okay, so this is obviously just the Mint website over here. It would be interesting to be able to find their main website. Here we go. Let's go onto their main website, not just their NFT. All right, there we go. So we believe in data and builders of tools that help game creators make and publish hit games with franchise potential built in. We're Homer Gaming Tech Lab that gives game creators the data. 1,000 studios and developers. Yeah, 80 plus mobile games that they've created. Over 1 billion downloads, which is a lot. Yeah, I mean, look, obviously to me, I believe it's worth a punt, 0.5 buy-in. We saw that what happened to Digi-Daigaku, which was a very similar type thing, an existing game studio with funding. They went all the way to 10 ETH. Now I've settled, I think, at about 7 or 8 or wherever they are. So this could just be one that's under the radar, or it could be one that never ever gets picked up and stays there forever. So do your own research, but definitely interesting to see it in the top 5 of OpenSea in the last 24 hours. Then we've got 1984, which I've covered before in a video. If you want to check it out with Casey Knightley, just search on YouTube 1984. You'll see our reviews on them. We've got Genuine Undead that keeps popping up, coming back into the top 10. A really interesting project. They've got the best 3D art that I've seen, 3D pixel art that I've seen. And they tend to, whenever they hit 0.25, I don't know if you guys can see this, but currently they're 0.42. Whenever they hit 0.25, the next day they shoot up. It's actually quite incredible. So I've been watching this. They get a lot of sales. But when I say 3D art, I mean, look at this, 3D pixel art. When you have it as your profile picture, you can't even tell that it's pixel art. It's really, really amazing. So from an art perspective, they're good, and they've also got a crazy, crazy community. If you just mention them on your Twitter, then they go absolutely wild. Just gave me an idea. Why don't we mention them on Twitter and see what happens, guys? Let's quickly log into Twitter here. Actually, the better way would be to do it through here. And let's go here, and then we're going to need a link. We're going to need a link to this live stream, but let's just say here, tweet, yo, let's see if this is what we think it is. We'll keep an eye on it. Yo, Genuine Undead, we talking about your project on our live show. Okay. Like that, and then let's put the link, which I'm going to have to find in a creative way. Just hold on 1 second. So if we open up here, I'm going to take my screen. Well, you can watch my screen, it doesn't matter. NFT show, we go YouTube Studio. This is a deep dive into the back end of YouTube. So go live here. This is currently the one that we're doing here, and we say get shareable link. Boom, we can close this up here, do that, and let's see. We currently got 6 viewers live. Thank you to everyone for being here. Nice Friday night. We've got a weekend ahead of us. Let's see if this number jumps. Let's just see, because this community is really that insane. So let's see. We'll keep an eye on this over here. I'm going to put it all the way to the end so that I don't delete it by mistake. I'm going to put it all the way to the end here, because as I go through stuff, I typically delete it, all right? Anyway, so let's see what happens there if they come back to us. Genuine Undead, Azuki, Clone X, those are all the same that we saw already. So yeah, very, very interesting. IC tools to see what's trending, like literally the last 5 minutes. This is live, so I've got no idea what this is going to say. Never heard of this top one, never heard of that one, never heard of that one. The Sad Times, I saw them, they minted yesterday, 3,333 collection. Mint price was, I think, you could choose what you wanted to pay. So literally, you could choose what you could pay 0, or you could pay whatever you want. And they've been doing quite well. I've been seeing them on the charts. Again, when a project has just launched, like this Sad Times, or even that one that we looked at, the gaming one, when it's just launched, you're always going to see them in the chart the first 2-3 days. The real test, and the same with 1984, the real test is, are they still in these charts in the next 2 weeks? You know, are they still featuring? Do they still have sales? That's really what you want to see. We got Cube X. We know those guys are doing quite a lot. They down substantially. They were sitting at about 0.2 a couple of weeks ago. Here we've got that 1984 again. So 3 sales in the last 5 minutes. Just interesting.